Hi there, I'm Gildart Jackson, and today on Fireside Reading we concluded part 2 of chapter 32 of David Copperfield. So, Steerforth has taken little Emily away, and Mr. Peggotty is bereft. He's going to search for her, and he sets off with Peggotty and David in a coach to London, because the first thing he's going to do is go to Mrs. Steerforth's house, and he has a question for her. David bravely takes him there, and it's a really awful scene, so emotional. He explains that the only hope for his niece is if Steerforth were to marry her and make her a lady. And Mrs. Steerforth says this isn't going to happen. She's awfully rude about Mr. Peggotty and about little Emily. She's uneducated and ignorant, or claims that she is. Mr. Peggotty stays the course. He merely asks the question. Then Mrs. Steerforth makes a mistake. She offers him money, and he is incensed. He doesn't lose his temper, but he goes very quiet and speaks very low. And this incenses Mrs. Steerforth, and her sense of entitlement is really awful. So it ends that Mr. Peggotty says he didn't expect to get anything from her, and he's now going to search for her niece. But as they're leaving, Rosa Dartle, who's been in the interview, comes and she harangues David and Mr. Peggotty. She is really awful. Clearly, I think she's in love with Steerforth and intensely jealous that he ran away with this beautiful young woman. But she is vile in the way she speaks to Mr. Peggotty and to David. They ultimately leave, and Mr. Peggotty sets off. Peggotty and David watch him go down the street with the red sunset, and there's never a moment that David says he doesn't think of Mr. Peggotty setting off in search of his niece. And his final words, which are very beautiful, that he says, "My unchanged love is with my darling child, and I forgive her." If he dies, then he wants them to remember this, to tell to Emily if they should ever see her again. It's a very beautiful chapter. So much of this book is so wonderful. Please join us. We read every day at 5 Pacific at Fireside Reading on Instagram, although I'm not reading tomorrow on Friday, but I resume on Saturday. All the chapters are uploaded to the YouTube channel, Fireside Reading.